Hey y'all, I'm Mark. I'm known as Trapper Woody around the area. I'm an NWCO, Nuisance Wildlife Control Operator, licensed under the Pennsylvania Game Commission to do nuisance wildlife removal for people. This pond I've been working on for these people for probably 5 years now. Every once in a while, this is the first in 2 years that they got muskrats back in here. I didn't have the camera with me, walked around earlier. I had one muskrat come out of the hole right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a little mud trail here that shows that there's a muskrat hole here. So what I do is, I very carefully use either my setting tool for my 160 conibears and move away the algae, leaves, twigs from the hole. The hole is right here. They're back in here and they're down behind the camera. So what I'll do is I get this 160 already set up. There's safety latches on here so you don't get caught. You gotta undo them. I put my 160s upside down in the hole, right like that. And then I use sticks that I can grab anywhere in the woods where I'm at, where I'm trapping, and I use them to stabilize the trap in the springs. So one goes there and one goes here. And that puts it right there in front of the hole and it keeps it there. Now, that's a trap that when they come out into it, they're gonna be dead. That's what I want. I don't want animals suffering in the trap. I try to do all my nuisance work that the animals instantly are dead whenever they go through the trap. That's the way I like to do it. That's the way I always like to do it. That's when my brother did it. I'll talk about him throughout the series here as I work on him. He was my oldest brother. He was the one that taught me a lot. He was the one that got me into a lot of the stuff I do today, a lot of the animals and the birds that I like. So I'll talk about him. I'm going to set this up, show you a little bit about setting them up. There's I think 4 holes down through here, so that's one. And I'll see if I can get the sun off, the glare of the sun off the pond to show you what they looks like. I don't know if we're able to see it or not because of the sun. Let me see if I can get down here. There goes a muskrat. Did we get that? See how that came out of there? He's right back here in the water, or in the bank. They got a den in here. And as I said, it's been 2 years since they've been back in here. I just walk around and look for the mud trails. That's a mud trail. There's a mud trail right here. There's a hole. If you can see it, they're in here. And if we walk around here a little bit more, we should be able to find another. Yeah, down here. They're right in here. If you can see this whole area out in here, how it's muddy. If that's coming up on the camera. Yeah, there we go. It's all muddy. There's another hole right here in the bank. They will be out sometimes out further. You need to find that. Sometimes they'll go out there a good 15 feet, start digging, and they'll come back underneath the water and come into the bank, and their exit hole will be out there. You got to look deep. But as you see, it's a nice little pond. These people, they've been really good to me for the past 8 years. I started out, to give you a little background on this. It's a little cold out here today. I do commercial snap turtle trapping. I get the commercial license from the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. I have hoop traps that look like a great big oversized minnow trap. That'll be in the summer, I'll show them, but this pond, you could literally, and it was no lie, you could literally walk across turtles. There were so many of them in here 8 years ago. And I happened to have a guy tell me, he says, hey, he says, I know people that have so many snap turtles in their ponds. In their pond, well, there is 2, there's one up there behind a little one, spring fed. He says they got so many turtles in the ponds that they want them gone. So I came out and talked to them, and Jenny and Joe were sitting on the porch. I called them up. I said, hey, can I come out and look at your pond, catch turtles out of it? Sure, come on out. So I come out. They're sitting on the porch. It was the 1st of July 8 years ago. I had my traps with me, and they're sitting on the porch, and they said, well, before you say it, we want to tell you a little story. So I said, okay. They proceeded to tell me that since 1968, there's been guys in here telling them that they would clean their pond out of turtles. And they were setting hooks, jug hooks, which I've done before, line hooks off the bank. They weren't catching men. There's a lot of bluegills in here. Bluegills love to strip your hooks of bait, before the turtles get it. So I come out with my 2 traps, and pulled them out of the back of the truck, and they both said, what's that? And I said, they're my traps I use for snapping turtles. So I proceeded to put one over here on this side of the island and one on the other side of the island. It was probably about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. They said, when are you going to come back? I said, tomorrow about the same time, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, I got some stuff to do in the morning. I'll come back to check them. I said, the turtles get in there, they'll be fine. The top of the trap is left out of the water so they can get up and get air. I said, they'll be all fine. Well, I came back the next day at 3 o'clock, and Joe and Jenny are sitting on the porch watching me. And I pulled the first trap out over here and had nothing in it, and the bait was still in, so I just left it sit. I walked around the pond, and I got to the other side of the pond and grabbed the trap and went to pull it in, and I couldn't move it. I finally worked it to the bank. I had 8 snapping turtles in it that were anywhere between 15 to 30 pounds. 30-pound snapping turtle is a big snapping turtle. Then on top of those, I had probably 30 to 50 painted turtles and musk turtles combined in there with the snapping turtles. So I carry two 55-gallon drums on the back of my truck whenever I'm doing snapping turtles. They wanted their pond cleaned out. They have koi in here. They wanted their koi to live. So what I did was I would put the snapping turtles in one 55-gallon drum, and I put the painted and musk turtles in another drum. And what I would do is you can keep one painted turtle a day. I don't know why anybody wanted to keep them. I never ate them. I don't know if they're edible, but I took them, put them in a barrel, took them to a creek about 20 miles away from here, and put them in the creek. So they were transported from here to the creek, perfectly legal. Getting them out of here for the people was doing nuisance turtle work for them. Doug Deppin, the fish warden for the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, I talked to him about it, and he just couldn't believe. I don't even know if he came out and looked at it. He said he was going to come out and look at the pond that year. I don't know if he did or not, but he just couldn't believe I was catching that many turtles. But there was that many turtles in here, and after a month, the turtles, you were seeing less and less turtles in here. And Joe and Jenny said to me, they said, you didn't lie whenever you told us you would get these turtles out of here. As I said, from 1968 to 8 years ago, they had people in here saying they were going to get rid of snap turtles. I get now, 8 years later, I might get 2 or 3 snapping turtles out of here. But that first year, I had 58 snapping turtles out of this pond, and probably over 1,000 painted and musk turtles that I took to a creek 20 miles away and turned them loose so they would live in the creek and they wouldn't be in this pond. So that's just a little story on how I got in here. I took care of it. They had nuisance problems with flying squirrels. I set little box traps in their old milk house. There was flying squirrels in. Got 12 flying squirrels out of it. I took them to another place and released them. There's certain animals that I can catch and transport somewhere and release. Now, if you're going to think about doing something like that, look into the laws closely, because some of the animals you cannot take and transport them and release them because of rabies. And I'll tell you what they are. It's coyote, fox, raccoon, skunk, and groundhog. Now, the groundhogs is the greatest thing for me because people pay me to get rid of the groundhogs out of their gardens and out of their backyards. Well, I like to use everything that I catch. The fur, the bones, the meat if possible, if it's edible. So what I did with the groundhogs was I would skin them out and I would use the meat for snap turtle bait. When I was a kid and my dad was teaching me and my 3 brothers how to catch snap turtles, he would always say, "Okay, boys," and he would grab his rifle and we would grab the 22s and we would go to a local farm property that my dad was friends with, and we would shoot groundhogs for him. And then we would take them home. Some guys just shove the groundhog back down the hole. We'd take them home and we would skin them out. We'd debone them and we'd use that meat for snap turtle bait. And there's one thing that I have found over the years that snap turtles love, and that's groundhog. The traps that I have now, they look like an overgrown minnow trap. They're 6 foot long, 3 foot high. They're hooped. They can catch multiple turtles, where if you have a hook, you only catch 1 turtle. The ones that I can catch them. I can put them in a great big tank, clean them out, which you really don't have to do, but I clean them out for the customers because that's what they want that are buying them from me. I clean them out, and if they need me to, I'll clean them for them. If not, they come and get them alive and they clean them themselves. Some guys like that. I had a guy that had a restaurant that I was selling them to, Woods Creek Grill. They're out of business now, but Dave wanted a couple of live ones after they closed the restaurant to clean, and he wanted to learn how to clean them, so I got him 5. He paid me for them. This was some years back, and I went to his house with the turtles and I showed him how to clean them. Now he knows how to clean them. But just little things like this. If you're looking for a place to hunt, I like to tell people this, and I like to tell the younger generation this. Go out, talk to the landowners, get to know them, do a little bit of work for them. Their son Todd, Joe, Jenny, and Todd are great people, great Christian people. Todd has helped me with my vehicles. He's got a warehouse that he has a vehicle lift in. He helps me with his vehicles, all because I've come in here and I've taken care of their nuisance problems for them. They pay me sometimes, but sometimes I don't want paid out of it because, like this here, the muskrats, I use them for different things, and I'm working on brain tanning, which will be a part of this series. And I make moccasins. I make hats, like I have a coyote hat and a raccoon hat. I want to make a top hat out of like an Abraham Lincoln top hat. I want to make one out of a beaver hide and also a raccoon hide. I found a pattern the other day for that. I'm working on a vest for my daughter, out of a deer vest for my daughter that she wanted. I had made one for her whenever she was probably 5 years old, and she just loved it, and our one lab got a hold of it and ripped it apart. So that's where we're at today. This is first video of mine. We're going to be going forth here. It's not going to be all about trapping. It's not going to be all about nuisance wildlife. I do so much. I'm a person that I like to learn new things. If I can sit down and read a book and learn how to put something together, I do it. I make fox grape jelly for my wife. I make fox grape jelly for loved ones for Christmas, and for friends. I give Joe and Jenny and Todd stuff that I make. If I'm hunting deer, I make my own jerky, sausage. I'm a person that I want to be able to put my hands on what I'm doing and be able to make what I'm making. But there's a lot of things I'm making, and we'll be into it on this channel here on YouTube. It's Trapper Woody. I'm Trapper Woody. Around the area, I'm known as Trapper Woody. The business is Trapper Woody's Nuisance Wild Animal Removal. My wife and I own it. I'm the one that's licensed. She's the one that has control over the money. best thing there because she makes more money for us that way. I take care of getting rid of the animals for the people, and she takes care of the money, and it makes it easier for us. But I'm hoping that you all will like this, and I want to say a thank you right now here while I'm out here. Tom, I should have wrote it down. I had a brain fart like you did, Tom. The other day you were trying to think of the guy in Florida. Tom's up in northern Maine. He has a channel. I've been talking to him for 2 weeks on just how to get started and put my first video up, and he said just get busy and do it. So here I am. I'm gonna try to keep this for in the middle of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go home this afternoon, and my wife and I were building a studio in the basement. The wall has memories on it. It's all about us, all about what we do and how we live. So I'll be showing that, and I'll have Tom's name of his YouTube channel so you can check it out. He's a really good guy. I enjoy drinking my coffee in the morning and watching his videos because Tom has a coffee in his hand. I got a coffee, sometimes it's tea. But he's a really good guy. He's very informational. If you want to learn how to start fires, how to cook over an open fire and that, I'll do that every once in a while. But mine's going to be more of the things that I get, that I make, what I make from them, and how I like to be able to use the whole animal compared to just the furs. There's different things.